What up, though, y'all? We're here with another independent album review. Sometimes the best hip-hop is not right in front of your face, but it's something you gotta go searching for, man. Let's get it.
Spread it through your city like a virus does. Iron lung, get it poppin', 2MG supply a buzz. Homie want smoke it, tell him light it up. And rich kids plug walking up like they buy from us. Misconstrued, my guns bang up with a pistol, boom, send a smoke. Either fill it or we clear the...
This week's independent artist review is on artist Stigma, who is an underground hip-hop artist from Canada, and this is his debut album called Unorthodox. So first track is called HML, man. It's a great start-off track. Let you know the vibe of the album and how things are going to be throughout. Spread it through your city like a virus does. Iron lung, get it poppin', 2MG supply a buzz. A featured artist is named Guns, and in Guns, I'm just going to say it, man. You got to change the name. You got to do it. I'm sorry. GUNZ is just not a cut it around here, all right? We got a lot of guns out there, and this is America. Okay. You know, dope verse, though. Dope artist. I like what you do. I like your vibe, but you got to change the name, bro. You got to pull the trigger on that. You know what I'm saying? I didn't even mean to do that. You got to pull the trigger on that, Guns. Okay. But moving on, man, I do like the track, though. It's dope. How it goes, got a catchy hook on here, man. A lot of the choruses on here, when they're done by Stigma, very catchy hook. You know how it goes? You know how it goes.
Smoking the air if I'm breathing, you know how it goes. Crashing a party and leaving, you know how it goes.
You know, it's a vibe. This one was in my head as I was walking away from it. And that's always a good sign. Conductors, the next track on here. Kind of a little quality chorus here, but dope verse. Stigma really spazzes on here. Check it out.
Wake up, head spinning like a cyclone, puffing my lungs for I even turn the lights on. Freaking the sheets, still sleeping with a blindfold, leak in the streets, red flag and a pylon. Trying to peek on this hill that I die on. Reap with your soul when your body count a mile long. Get triggered like a silent alarm, cause y'all get opened up quick at this cigar cuts. Out here trying to affect Mandela, best in my class from the Bernstein era. Don't recognize when you look in the mirror. Y'all get the message of for forever. Type to get the needle moving, but not with evil doing. Voodoo on the brain cause I'm Beetlejuicing. Illusions, never even thought I could dream this lucid. Start waving hands again like a pandering with a point to prove. But I ain't gon' dabble in with what you tamper with, cause that is not my move. You better start answering for all the slandering before they peep the news. Y'all see where I'm at now, wait till you see what I'm expanding to.
Yeah, and then there's Summer Nights, man. That's the next one. Dope chorus, West Coast vibes. This is one of the best tracks on the album, in my opinion. Really, just one of the singles, like How It Goes, it could be. You know, a lot of these could be single S tracks, you know. Next one is called Chaos, which the chorus on here goes crazy. Whoever the singer is on here just really goes nuts.
Late nights, right on time, right on time. Like napalm, cause the sky, I stay lost in my mind, through chaos, all my life.
On it. I really appreciate the quality of the voice on here, the style of the singing, very different, very unorthodox, eh? But yeah, next track is called Better Me. Meaningful, dope, pretty good singer. The real issue I have is just there's a little bit of a quality on like a low qualityness to the singer's recording. You know what I'm saying? Just, you can only tell when you compare it with the kind of higher quality recording of Stigma. So there's almost like a juxtaposition a lot of times on the featured artists on the album, where you hear this artist sounds kind of down here and Stigma sounding up here. You know what I'm saying? So getting those kind of up here, both of them up here would be great. So next one, I believe, is an interlude called What If. And yeah, What If, man, this is a great interlude. I definitely, showing personality with interludes is the best thing you can do for an album, giving the album a vibe, a feel, you know, because you can't just be rapping, you know what I'm saying? You have to show personality, whether it's with your lyrics or with your intros, outros, or your interludes. So, you know, you got to bring some kind of style to it, because that's what the people want these days. They don't just want somebody rapping. They want somebody to be interested in. And these interludes show interest. And he's basically, the interlude was just like, what if when I'm staring in the mirror, man, like I'm staring at a different parallel universe, and that's that's kind of cool. It really reminds me, I don't know why, of the Mandela effects out there. Like when I was a kid, I remember growing up, it was called Berenstein Bears, but now it's called, I guess it was called Berenstein Bears, but everyone remembers Berenstein. There's a lot of Mandela effects out there. That's what that means, that everybody thinks something was one way, but you learn later on everybody was wrong and it's this way. Just trippy. I don't know why that reminded me. That was a tangent. Sorry. Let's get back into the album. About still, I appreciate that it's kind of got this like Eminem mid-career influence that it sounds like to me. And he's still himself. Don't get that wrong. But that's just kind of sound like he's influenced by that kind of the lyrical style of flow, which is right there where I'm at. Next track is called Justify It. Very two different voices on here. They're both Stigma, but I love the kind of effect that's on the darker voice on here. Shows a little juxtaposition on this different styles on the same track. Very cool. I dig it. Next one is called Battle Cry. A meaningful track about fighting adversity and kind of just teaching the young crowd a little bit at the same time. I really like the message on here. Really like when you're connecting. Like I said, connection is the best thing you can do for an album. I will say though, the other tracks are bringing that fire enough to where you can really, he's bringing that connection on in small, subtle ways on the other tracks too. So a lot of these meaningful ones, I mean, I'm down for a few of them being on here, but we're getting a lot of meaningful ones and then a lot of like dope kind of lyrical rhyme scheme tracks, and you're mixing two worlds when I don't think you need to. I would add those meaningful tracks either if it's not a big part of the album or your singles at the end of the album, and just one or two of them. And you really have to think when you're listening, when you're putting a song on the album, you have to ask yourself, if you gave this song to someone and asked them to check out your album, would they be kind of mad or surprised when they hear the different genre that you're bringing with the rest of the album? They don't think your album sounds like one of the tracks on here, Who I Am, for example, which is a hip hop country kind of track. So when you're doing that, you have to ask yourself, hey, is this going to be difference in genre and difference in vibe and feel than what's on the rest of the album, which I like Who I Am. I'm not a country kind of guy, but the hook just kind of reminds me of a country kind of vibe. But even though if I'm saying it's pretty good and it has a country vibe on it, it's good, okay? Because I'm eclectic. I like all kinds of music except for country, okay? So just a little something about me right there. But yeah, I don't think that necessarily Who I Am could have been just left as a hook or used on a different project. It's a dope song, but I think that it kind of a dope meaning for the song too, like I'm saying, these meaningful ones are giving a picture inside of Stigma's head, which is always a good thing. But I think this should have been just a lyrical rhyme scheme album, in my opinion. Then we got another interlude called Missed You, where he's kind of talk about can't find his vape or whatever. And his friend's like, yeah, maybe you should take this as a sign, and that's what I mean. Like personality, showing your personality, always a good thing. That's why the interludes are great. Next song is called Need You, which actually has another version of it with another featured artist on here. And he was featured a few times on this album, actually. And I wonder if you just should have chose one or the other, the original Need You or the Need You with him on it. I feel like you didn't need both on here. And if you were going to put both on here, you can actually re-release the album and just put deluxe edition at the end of it. And you re-release the album and you get people excited about the album again, adding to the rest of your numbers, adding to the rest of your releases. Release the initial songs that you want on the album. Then if you want more tracks on there, release a deluxe edition or release a bonus edition, where you just have either those added tracks or you have the original set tracks you had plus more, That's really getting more attention on your releases, how you can get more eyes on your release. Because when you release everything, you put all your marbles in one bucket, put it out at once, your promo goes out the window because you can't promote 20 tracks at once. You can promote one at a time, really, if you're an independent artist. If you're lucky, you can do like, 4 at a time if you got money. But releasing with the waterfall method is the best option that you can do for the independent artist. The waterfall method is releasing everything that can be a single, you release as a single, okay, first. Then you release the album with all those singles on it, plus 1 or 2 more tracks to give them a little something new. So that's what you do that's the best way to promote your music, is release everything as singles. It's a single world out here. The attention span is not for albums. Why? Ask yourself, why are you releasing an album? Moving on. Next track on here. Let me go back to Need You, because this flute on Need You is dope as hell, okay? It's very catchy. Along with the hook, this is another one that's like just one of those single S songs. A lot of single S songs on here, which I appreciate. Very catchy hooks. Really going to be in your head. Really good at designing hooks, man. I'm just going to say it. Then the next one is called Pass My Luck. Low quality hook, probably because Stigma isn't doing that. And this is kind of a common thing I'm coming up with here, is that when Stigma is not doing the hook, and there seems to be a lower qualityness to the hook itself, meaning that whoever's recording is not recording on the same setup, but a lower quality setup or low quality mixing. So just keep that in mind. You want everything to be cohesive. But the track itself, Pass My Luck, crazy feature verse on here. Who the feature is on here goes nuts. Definitely dope. And then there's this Stigma does this thing too, chill my dogs more than humans, because most of y'all are stupid and easily influenced, brain dead and disloyal, stay fed but got spoiled. It's not about what you shoot, it be the recoil. You know what I'm saying? And I appreciate the bars on here. There isn't a whole lot of I would say there is not a lot of times I'm going to the hard bars like that. I feel like the way he rhymes, there's different ways to be in a bar, right? He rhymes, he's painting a picture with his rhymes. He's telling a story with his rhymes. He's kind of making you think. Most of his lines make me go, not, you know what I'm saying? But that one made me go. So, that was dope. Next song on here is probably the most out of place song on the album, which is Mutants in the Booth, by the feature artist on here is Tizzy. And I think that it's a dope song, right? But it doesn't fit the rest of the album. Same thing I kind of said about Who I Am, which Who I Am could stay, really, arguably. You could argue that, But this one, I think, definitely doesn't belong on the album. And then low quality hook again, because Stigma's not recording the hook. It seems to be a little theme going on here. Fool Me Once is the next track on here. Friends turn to enemies. Memories are dead and gone. I thought that was kind of dope. Ones that connect, lines that make you connect to other things. Don't gotta tell me I'm learning. Don't gotta tell me I'm learning from changed behavior. Feel like I'm learned so many lessons. Pretty soon I'll be the teacher. Artificial world, attracted to all the features, trying to find a woman whose attachment ain't for snatching visas. I was like, okay, artificial world, attracted to all the features. I think it's dope. I like the lines and the way he's doing it. Everyone ain't toxic, but walks around in hazmats. You know what I'm saying? That's kind of dope. Best songs on the album are Chaos, Summer Nights, How It Goes, and Fool Me Once. Arguably Conductor as well, because Stigma just snaps on there, in my opinion. Worst song, I think, and it's not that it's a bad song. Once again, this is just doesn't fit the album. Is Mutants in the Booth, I feel, just doesn't fit. Could have put it on another project. Pros of this album are consistent sound throughout the album. There's a few meaningful tracks on here that don't really fit the rest of the single vibe you have going on here. Paints pictures with his words. Rhyme scheme is good. The choruses are all very catchy, which is great. Fast rhythm, quality for the vocals for Stigma specifically. And then for the debut underground album, this is way ahead of the curve, man. I'm just gonna say it. Yeah, so the cons of this album, man, I would just say basically the low quality of the feature vocals, and they're not super low quality, but it's just like a difference in quality between your crispiness of your vocals and their vocals. So whatever they're recording on, I don't think is as good as yours, Stigma. So I do think there's that. And then I would just say basically trim the fat. That's always going to be something I say on every independent album review pretty much, because people love piling on songs on these albums, you know? So I'm just going to say, yeah, trim the fat. You know, if you would have taken off Mutant, if you would have taken off the Need You extra version of it, and maybe just use that as the deluxe edition so you can re-release the album, get attention again, and the cycle continues. You know, those sort of things you can use as promotional tools. You can also maybe give out the songs to get people to subscribe to your email list. You know, like there's ways to use these songs to your benefit promotionally. So that's how I would recommend. You know, I'm all about short and sweet albums, and that's not mainly from my perspective because I can listen to these, but that's mainly for the attention span of today's generation. These kids were raised with screens in their faces when they were babies. They were born and like, here's a screen. Watch it while I can do something else. You know what I'm saying? That's today's generation. So you got to keep that in mind. And keep in mind that the songs at the beginning of your album are going to get more streams than the songs at the end of your album. So you want to put your best foot forward, which I think you did with HML. Definitely a dope album, man. I'm going to just rate this a 7.5 out of 10. It's great. I love it. You know, this is one of them that I think that this is his debut album. He's definitely going to come with some fire later on. So let's stay tuned for your boy Stigma, man. Show some love for Stigma. All the songs I said I liked are going to be in the description below. That's Chaos, Summer Nights, How It Goes, and Fool Me Once. If you're just trying to get a vibe for the choruses I'm talking about, Summer Nights and How It Goes are the ones to check out. If you want to dive a little deeper, get in the weeds a little bit, Chaos and Fool Me Once are the ones I would check out. So let me know what y'all think about that, man. Definitely dope album. Stigma, you did your thing, all right? If I was rating this on the mainstream scale, I would say that the quality is actually up there for your vocals, you know? The things that hold it back are the feature vocals, but I would probably give it like a 5.5 or so. You know, just mainly it's just because of those feature quality vocals. Whatever you're doing to your vocal, Stigma, though, keep on doing it, man. I love it. Dope album, man. What do y'all think about Stigma? What do y'all think about these independent reviews? You know, these underground hip hop reviews I've been doing. They seem to like it, so I'm gonna continue doing it. If y'all let me know y'all don't like it, I might stop doing it and just stick to the mainstream albums that my producer Sanraptor recommends me. But if you want me to review your album, let me know. I will do so, but let you know I'm gonna tell the truth, man. It is what it is. All right. So that's what it is, y'all. Peace.